Line 4B. Dr. Banks, call the lab on line 4B.
You are not through for the day.
Wish I was. I'm about ready to drop.
Aw, Jim, you look fresh as a daisy.
Yes, I wish I felt fresh as a daisy. We were out rather late last night, you know.
It was worth it, wasn't it? I had a great time.
Yeah, me too.
Like the song says, could have danced all night.
Could have danced all night. Well, it's a good thing I didn't because I had emergency surgery this morning.
I know, little Karen Benko. I just read the report.
Yeah, she's doing real well.
She's a sweet little girl.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart. She's been here 3 days, and everybody's already in love with her.
Uh-huh, and you, super doctor, did a terrific job. It says so right there.
Yeah, thank you. The most important thing is that she's okay.
Noah, what's the problem?
No problem. Not with me, anyway. Apparently, our acting chief of staff is the one with the problem.
Why? With you? Did something go wrong?
No. Surgery went beautifully. Apparently, he's very upset with me. I've been summoned to his office to face the music.
Why? You just did a fantastic operation on a little girl and saved her life. What's he upset about?
Technicality.
What technicality?
It's rule book stuff, you know. Sometimes you just don't have time to read the book, you know. Don't worry about it. I'm not.
Dr. Robert Troutman, OR staff. Dr. Robert Troutman, OR staff.
Hi.
Hi, Joe. You want something?
Yeah. Can you tell me where Ann is?
Yeah, she's on the 7th floor on the desk.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
I thought I was going to.
Nurse Busoni, report to Dr. Gonzalez.
Whatever it is, Dr. Drake.
Nurse Busoni,
Good luck.
report to Dr. Gonzalez in the clinic.
ELQ International. Good morning, Miss Quartermain. One moment, please.
Well, what do we have here?
Well, I'm just filling in while Laura's away. Can I help you?
Edward, what is Kathy Summers doing out there?
Spying for Monica.
Oh, come on, you're not serious.
Well, what do you think? Why else would Monica have offered us her services?
Oh, well, look at it this way, dear. At least you don't have to answer the phone anymore.
You're very chipper this morning.
Aren't I always?
Must have had a good night with Duval.
I had a wonderful night with Duval. As a matter of fact, I have got him right here in this pocket.
And what about the formula? Do you have that right there in your pocket, too?
Well, you really are a grouch this morning now, aren't you? Now, you know that's impossible. Now, I can't get that formula unless I have the statue or steal it.
Yeah, well, we certainly can't steal it. As you said yourself, Duval would protect it with his life.
That is true.
Okay, so where's that leave us?
We go on with the plan.
Alex, we have dozens of plans. What plan are you talking about?
The plan to frame Laura Baldwin.
We don't have Laura.
Well, it doesn't matter if we have Laura or not. As a matter of fact, it'll be better if we don't.
You know, Alex, I've never thought of myself as a stupid man, but I'm really beginning to think I am. I just can't follow your line of thinking this morning.
All right, let me help you out. It's all set up. We'll go ahead with the plan and report Laura. There'll be a lot of talk and publicity. And then if we're lucky, Luke and Laura will take the bait and come back into town to clear her name.
I see. And if they don't, why, we won't be out anything.
Exactly. I knew you'd like the plan.
Well, at least we'll know whether or not they're still in Port Charles. Huh?
Precisely. Excuse me. And I'm going to be shocked. I'm going to be shocked beyond belief that our very own dear little Laura Baldwin stole money from this office to buy herself this little fur.
Oh, this is some kind of nice apartment, okay?
The bathroom's here.
Yes. Well, this is the bedroom and the bathroom together.
Mm-hmm.
Your husband's bedroom?
Yeah, how'd you know that?
Huh? How do I know that?
Yeah.
Because the whole building have the same thing. That's how they make money. They make everything the same way.
You been up here before?
No, I've never been here.
It's funny, you sort of look familiar to me.
Oh, yes?
Yeah,
Well, maybe you saw me in the elevator.
I don't think so.
In the basement?
Never been in this basement.
Well, maybe I have a face that look like everybody else.
Yeah.
Somebody told me I look like their cousin, you know?
Oh, spare me that. Well, anyway, you do what you have to do, and I'll check back with you later, okay?
Si, senora. Thank you very
Mess up the
much.
rug, though.
No, I try to keep everything nice and clean the way I found it.
My corner means that could be in jail very soon, and the pieces are all falling into place.
Oh, Joe, you mean that?
And when they do fall into place, we are going to know the truth about Diana's murder.
It just seems too much to hope for, Joe.
It is not too much to hope for, not especially now. With Ramsey in our corner, we got double-barrel power.
What made him change his mind?
He just saw the possibility that there could have been 2 nurses at Diana's apartment the night she was killed.
You mean one besides me?
And then he went out and he found a neighbor who saw 2 nurses at Diana's apartment the night she was killed.
Does that mean that...
All we have to do is just prove the other nurse is Heather.
Joe, how are you going to do that?
Oh, I'll prove it. Believe me, I'll prove it. I know it. Heather killed her. She got out of Forest Hills by disguising herself as Nurse Shelley Vernon.
Joe, you still have to prove it.
Come on, you're starting to sound like Bert. I will prove it, and I'm going to prove it. I promise you.
Heather is very clever, even if what you say is true. Yet, I'm sure she's covered her tracks.
Oh, I'll just simply uncover her tracks.
Joe, I just wish you weren't so involved with Heather. you know.
I'm not involved with Heather. I'm involved with this case.
I know, but you gotta be careful with her. Joe, you just never know what she's gonna do next.
You're telling me? I found that out the hard way. And there are some facets to Heather that I've uncovered that I don't think anybody knows about, not even her mother. And they do tend to throw me off a bit, yeah.
Well, that's exactly what I mean. I don't even want to hear you talk this way. You should just turn that charm on like that. I've seen her do it, Joe.
Yeah, well, she's not going to charm me, so don't worry about it.
I do worry about it, Joe. I don't even like to see you spending so much time with her.
Hey, I've got to spend time with her if I'm going to, find the evidence we need to convict her.
I just wish there was another way.
This isn't going to take too much longer, I promise you. Tonight, I'm going to take her to the disco, only it's a bit of a setup this time.
What do you mean?
Somebody else is going to be there. Somebody that may be able to prove that Heather was in Port Charles the night Diana was murdered.
Edward, the plan is foolproof.
You're absolutely sure?
I am absolutely sure. And it'll make you feel any better, I'll go over it with you again, all right? The coat was ordered over the phone in Laura's name, correct?
Right.
A messenger was then sent for to deliver the cash to the furrier and to bring the coat back to the office. The address on the box was simply ELQ 12th floor.
Mm-hmm. And Laura signed for it?
Of course, the way she signs for everything.
Not knowing what it was she was signing?
Exactly. And with her name on the receipt, it looks like she ordered the coat. You and I certainly wouldn't order a mean coat, now would we?
Alex, I love it. And now, wait a minute. What about the plane tickets?
The exact same story. Ordered over the phone, paid for in cash, with Laura's name on the receipt.
My, these children. So careless these days. One wonders what the world is coming to.
Well, I know one child who's going to be coming back into town, screaming her innocence. But we have the coat, the receipt, and 2 airplane tickets. One made out to Luke Spencer and one made out to Laura Baldwin. It is a perfect setup. As a matter of fact, I think it just might be the key to save the whole Quartermain empire from financial ruin. Kathy, could you get my hairdresser, please?
Yes, Miss Quartermain.
Fred, I think it's in the book. I'd like a 3 o'clock appointment.
Okay.
Thank you.
ELQ International, good morning. Yes, one moment, please. Miss Quartermain, it's Luke Spencer on the phone. Do you care to speak with him?
Edward! Luke, where are you? What do you mean you can't tell me? Then tell me this. Have you made your decision? Who is going to get the statue? Oh, Luke, stop acting like a child. Why are you prolonging this? The whole town is looking for you. And where is Laura? And which one of you is... He hung up. He said he was returning our call.
That infuriating two-bit tin horn. What else did he say?
He said he would come to us with a statue and for us to sit tight.
Damned if I'll sit tight for him or anybody else.
Edward, he is lying through his teeth.
Yeah, so well, what else is new? Where does that leave us?
Well, this means that he is still out there somewhere, doing Lord knows what. Probably trying to make a deal with Scorpio.
Or Cassadine.
Yes, or Cassadine. All right, let's get on with it. Let's get on with the plan to frame her.
Right. And here is the clincher.
You got it.
Yes.
You want to see me?
Just come in, Doctor. Sure you know what this concerns, so why don't we get straight to the point? Karen Benko.
Yes, I had a decision to make.
I realize that, Doctor.
I had to operate.
Yes, I know you had to operate. I think your timing is what was off. You started operating before you had the consent form signed.
I spoke to her parents on the phone.
It's not the same thing.
They signed the release as soon as they got to the hospital.
Doctor, you had already started the operation. In fact, the assisting nurse told me that you had started closing by the time they got to the hospital.
And they were very pleased to hear the operation went well.
Yes, but what if they hadn't been pleased? What if, heaven forbid, something had happened to the child? Do you think they'd sign the consent forms then?
Dr. Weber, I was concerned about the child, not some hospital form that had to be filled out. Medicine has a personal as well as a practical side.
Doctor, I agree with you on that. Believe me, I do. However, in this particular instance, I think you confused the issues. I think you got them mixed up. Now, I would like an explanation.
Karen, the little girl, came to the hospital 3 days ago. She'd had a bad fall down some stairs. I wasn't sure how much damage had been done. So I treated her, and I was monitoring her. I got to know her parents very well, and I think I understood what Mr. and Mrs. Benko wanted for their daughter.
Well, you did?
Yes. And they trusted me implicitly.
No doubt.
Surgery wasn't necessary. Until the middle of last night, she started bleeding internally. I had to operate, and I would have operated even if I hadn't been able to reach her parents by phone, because the child's life is more important than some hospital form.
Doctor, I agree with you again on that point. However, this was not a life and death situation. Yes, surgery was necessary. Yes, the spleen had to come out. Yes, there was internal bleeding. But at no point was there any information available that it would be disastrous to her health if the operation was held off for an hour or two.
Dr. Weber, with all due respect.
Yes.
She was my patient, and I am responsible for her.
Doctor, the hospital is responsible no matter who operates. Now, what do you think consent forms are for? And why do parents have to sign consent forms for their children? Why?
All right, okay. The child is fine. Nothing happened.
But what if something had happened? At worst, the child could have died. If not, maybe they would have found out that the operation was not necessary. They could sue you and the hospital for having placed their daughter under unnecessary risk.
Listen, Dr. Weber.
No. Doctor, I'd like you to listen to me. And one time, I'm going to say this, and one time only. Never in the future do you repeat your actions of last night unless it is a life and death situation, unless minutes are involved, not hours. Now, did I make myself very clear?
Yes, Dr. Weber. Very clear.
Good.